say, Happy Halloween. It's the HYPERTHOTS Halloween episode. That was kind of Italian vampire, anybody? Ooh.
Yes. No. And here we are gathered on this hallowed day.
It's not Halloween yet, but it will be.
Well, don't tell them that. They won't know.
Oh, yeah, because they're going to think that we recorded it on the same day that we posted.
They don't know. Shut up. You're
it's Halloween. It's Happy Halloween, guys.
Happy Halloween.
It's definitely the 31st.
Yes.
Definitely.
What if we put it out a day late?
Oh, yeah, guys, we just recorded this yesterday. We're so fast at putting out the podcast.
Okay. Enough tomfoolery. For we are here to discuss. We are here to discuss our fears. And amongst this bunch of queers.
Ooh. This coven? Our coven, anybody?
A coven of queers. We shall discuss our fears. I'm really trying to do something with this rhyming bit. And it's not hitting.
I don't know. Fears and queers.
I don't know. Diana, what are you afraid of?
Britney Spears? Anybody? Britney Spears? I'm not afraid of Britney. Free Britney. She's free, according to some people. Ooh. Yeah, my fear is that Britney is not actually free and it was all a conspiracy. No, I mean, I'm not to be a bummer, but definitely my fear is definitely climate change making the ecosystem collapse in the next 10 to 15 years. Not to be a bummer.
No, very real.
Yeah,
very
I feel
real.
bad because a lot of people are oh my God, I can't wait until I'm 60 and blah, blah, blah. And I'm you are so naive, bro. Are you even following the news? We're dead. We're done.
No, it's true.
We're done.
It's hard to feel otherwise, that's for sure.
I mean, it's not even about feeling. It's just factually. We're going to be at 3C warming by 2100, which is 3.2C, which is 2C is where we cannot survive. So it's just whatever, bro. I don't know. It's weird because I obviously don't want to be a doomer and give up. But then I'm also just this is so out of our control. So deeply out of our control.
The apocalypse is, it's frightening. It's a pretty valid fear.
Ooh, climate change. Ooh. I'm going to be climate change for Halloween because I'm so hot.
Yes.
I've been having to think of a Halloween costume because I am going to go potentially, if it happens, to my friend's Halloween party. And so I've been having to think of things that I can wear a mask with it. And I was thinking I would just be a cat with tape cat ears onto the sides. But now I kind of want to be a witch because I feel witches can get away with that. No?
Oh, yeah.
But I'm hella ADHD I'm the kind of ADHD where it's you guys can't do anything Halloween costumes. I don't know. I genuinely, my whole, ever since I stopped being a kid who needed to dress up to get candy, I was just I don't give a fuck about this costume shit, bro. I'll put on the cat ears and be I'm a cat.
Yeah, I'm a cat.
Because I don't care enough. It'll be October 28th, and I'm fuck, I don't have a costume.
Being an adult is putting on the cat ears and just going to Walmart to buy the candy anyway.
I don't even want the candy at this point. It's not even that cheap. I'm a not so sweet type of girly. I'm on the Asian desserts. So me vibes. Not too sweet.
God.
I'm dead ass.
No, I know.
Various Asian cuisines nailed dessert. Fuck
no,
American
they did.
Halloween. No, America has great desserts too. I'm just old. I'm oh, it's too sweet. I just made lemonade. I got lemons. Life gave me lemons, and I made lemonade. And
nice.
It's so strong. I put very little sugar. Okay, that's me. I'm afraid of global warming and COVID.
Okay.
So now you guys can go. Mine are very, very real. So let's get funny.
Okay. And so we're coming to join us this time for a rare guest appearance. We have Kaelin Bougneit joining us.
Huh?
One of the scariest things known to man, a white cis gay male. How are you doing, Kaelin?
Oh no, I'm coming.
Slay.
How are you doing? What are you afraid of?
I mean, I mean, stealing the climate change, absolute catastrophic destruction of everything, breakdown of society. Barring that, I would say heights.
Ooh.
Like escalators is kind of like a weird one because it's like they're going up but they've got like you could possibly go over the side, right? And they move on their own.
And then you get trapped. Like if you're wearing a Halloween like robe, you could literally get like pulled into.
Oh my god!
No, it's true.
So don't wear your Halloween robes on escalators, guys. These are
don't wear capes. About. Don't wear long dresses. Don't wear slightly baggy pants. All of this should make you afraid of escalators.
I'm actually more afraid of escalators now than climate change.
Than I was before.
No, literally.
Okay.
What about you, Theresa? Are you going to do a transition?
So here's my thing, right? I'm afraid of a couple of things. The first thing I'm afraid of is I'm worried that my new EP, my new politics EP will go over people's heads. I'm worried that the jokes on it are too high concept. Because no, Diana, I hate to leak our DMs like this. Because I sent you the track, right? And I thought it was really funny how your response to the Charlie XCX parody song was, I don't understand why you have a British accent.
I mean, I understand. I just didn't. I was listening to it again on your YouTube, and I'm glad that people are watching it. But I was really bothered by the first time you said, It was like a different melody.
You were really bothered.
That was like the two things I brought up. And you did it right the second time. But the first time, I was just like, this is not faithful. But then you were faithful with the British accent. So really, I'm fake.
No,
and you're real. I saw a comment on it that also makes me fear for people's media literacy because they were like, how could you joke about genocide? And I mean, you know what? They might be right. Maybe we should all stop making jokes and be really serious.
I mean, I think that's the thing, right? The question is, what is the joke, right?
The joke is that Kamala supports genocide.
Yes.
And that's not funny, but it also has a level of absurdity that it's like, oh, we're so fucking liberal. Fuck. Like, we're going to have Kamala come in and protect the trans rights. And then she's sitting there like, I will follow the law and kick them out of the bathrooms or whatever.
Yeah. No,
so it's
exactly.
Just like, it's kind of like a cognitive dissonance type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad people are liking it, though. I didn't mean to hate on it.
No, I didn't interpret it that way. I'm making fun of you. I just thought it was. I'm a harsh
critic.
No, it's true. Well, that's the thing. It's like that's the thing about critiquing art, right? It kind of is nice to have people be like fucking real, like and then you can just
ignore them. Like even if they have a point, like
or you can you can think about it. You can do all kinds of things. But that's not the only thing I'm afraid of. Okay, I'm afraid of I have to be honest. I'm a little bit scared about this here election that we have going on. Speaking of politics, and the electoral politics is the scariest thing. I know we don't, do politics on
I think we kind of do. It's like literally in the show description.
We absolutely do. Hold on, I took a weed.
Oh my god, I'm about to take a weed. Wait, let's do let's bong rip time. Wait, let me get some ASMR. Wait, ASMR real quick. Here, let's see.
I have my pen.
Okay, back to politics.
The vape pen is like the electric car of weed smoking devices. It's just kind of like.
I need a Tesla vape pen. I need a Cybertruck.
Oh, real. Elon is.
Why can't you vape straight out of a Cybertruck? Why don't they have like a vape attachment? That would be awesome. I would buy a Cybertruck if you could rip nicotine out of it. I don't vape, by the way. I don't support vaping. I'm sad I didn't get in on the Juul lawsuit, bro, because I was juuling for a couple years.
$1 billion idea, though.
Oh, no, yeah. Wait, shit. I shouldn't put that on the podcast. They're going to take it.
Okay. All right. We'll cut it out.
Electric car that you can vape out of. Don't steal my idea. I'm copywriting it right now.
Because I think the thing that's going on because that's the thing, Diana. We did our Kamala is brat episode. We were talking about rich people, famous people, and talking about the interaction between art and politics and all this stuff. But one thing I think that was very obvious in that podcast was that there was a palpable sense of optimism. At least I felt it. I was lived the fuck up.
You were lived down and up and sideways and in the butt.
I was lived up. Okay?
Kamala got the strap and you were taking it.
I think a lot of people were just excited to see anybody
Biden
but
gone.
Joe Biden.
Anybody but Joe Biden.
He would before that. He was polling like what was it, like 8 points lower than generic Democrat. Just run any Democrat that's not crazy. Joe Biden. So it's like,
and
I mean, hell, I was excited.
Yeah, exactly. And now it really does feel like the turns have tabled. You know what I mean? Like it really does feel like there's that there is a discontent in the air. And so I wanna open up the floor. I wanna ask y'all why. What happened? What did she do? Why are we no longer Coco for Kamala?
I was never Coco for Kamala, just so you know. That was all you. I mean,
it was me.
But it wasn't Biden. I mean, here's the thing. People just realize that it's exactly the same platform, and no matter who they have, it's a figurehead, and they're just like trending to the right, obviously, because the government is lobbied by all the same companies. Like, it's really not that difficult, but I think people are just they don't want to believe that the government is like, your vote doesn't like do anything. Like, I think your vote does stuff lower on the ballot for sure. And that's why I think everyone should vote. Even if you don't want to vote for Kamala, everybody should go vote and vote on stuff for your state and your county. And because that is genuinely important.
Yeah,
like,
there's probably ballot measures and stuff that
all of the Oregon ballot measures are yes votes in my book.
I actually don't know which ones to vote for yet. I need to look into it in Cali, baby. I know there's one that literally like legalizes like slavery for inmates. So I'll look that one up. So I'm a little no on that one. It's just because they try to trick you with the wording. Like you can't go off how they word it on the ballot because they're trying to catch you up. Like they did the one where it was like they're able to like institutionalize homeless people easily by doing, it's a mental health bill. We're giving money to mental health. And people are like, I support mental health.
I will say a lot of times in the back of like voter pamphlets and stuff, this is just for like people listening, like they'll have like endorsements from candidates or from people in the community on various sort of things. So a lot of times if you're just like, I have no idea who to vote for, and you're just looking for, like information and stuff, endorsements are actually kind of a good way to do it, because if you get somebody that's like, oh, I'm endorsed by the police union and the Republican like AG or something, like it's like, oh, okay, maybe I'm like not going to vote for that guy. Whereas like you get somebody that's just like, oh yeah, no, teachers union endorsement and like, food pantries and like
AFL-CIO, all this stuff, the unions.
Famously never problematic AFL-CIO. That's a topic for another day.
That's us as fuck. Famously never problematic.
Famous.
Red Scare for fats.
No, that's our podcast.
That's $1. Is that $1 in the slur jar or $5?
Well, that's it. You still need to clarify whether or not you.
I want the fans to decide how much. I think each slur is worth a different amount of money. Okay, is what I'm going to say.
It needs to scale with inflation to be progressive.
Yeah, we're raising the minimum slur wage.
It's like $1.04 now or something.
Dude, they're raising the tolls in the Bay Area to $11 to cross the bridge.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Christ. And I was talking to a boomer about this, and they were like, well, they're fancy bridges. And I was like, what the fuck?
That's really scary, honestly.
I think they were being sarcastic, but also kind of not. I think they were being like slightly wry, but also they are expensive bridges, I guess. But it's just like, cannot the government just pay for that? Like, it's cheaper for them to make public transport free and not employ people to enforce it. It's just like, are you really making enough money from these bridge tolls that you couldn't cover it with like the money that we give the police? I don't know.
Exactly,
I mean, obviously I know the answer to that. I'm mad.
It's a very scary thing to think about, the way that like resources are allocated by our government. And it's tempting to look at this, right? And look at this sort of like fiscal malpractice that the state and local governments engage in. And so you might be tempted to say, oh man, fuck the government. They like, we need to dismantle government. We need to get rid of big government. And what's scary to me about that is that like the problem with a quote unquote small government is that like then you have nothing, right? Then you only have sort of these private corporations and private institutions, which you as the citizen have explicitly no control over, as opposed to the government where like sure, you might not literally have any control over it, but at the very least there's like this pretension that is true. And I think that's the thing. I think that's important. I think like having a public face that like, makes sense in that way, or is like,
sorry, I was going to say, this is one of the things I talk about a lot, which is like, people, especially in America, it happens other places, but in America for sure, like people conflate like authority and government. And like, like when the government does things, I am oppressed because it's my tax dollars paying for something that, I don't need, or blah, 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 paying for the IRS, blah, blah, blah. But like in reality, like the policy that, like the difference between the sort of like executive state and the
administrative state.
Thanks. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah. It's very like palpably different. Like even like the bridge thing, like you're talking about, like I don't know to what extent, like if it's the the national like highway system.
No, it's the state, I think.
Okay, yeah, it it's like there's so many things that just like
the international highway system. Let's fucking go.
I said that. That would be.
I mean, they have that. I guess you have to cross over. I don't think that's a thing. Wait, yeah.
I mean, there's like some international collaboration on like bridges and stuff. Kind of
this is something very interesting that I think all of the HYPERTHOTS listeners, the faggots out there, really need.
Yeah.
I'll look into it someday.
Anyway, it's people. The thing is that the administrative state does good things for people. Like this is where you get your social security from, your unemployment, like all of your welfare and stuff like that. And then you have like $20 billion to Israel.
Classic. Love that. I want to pay more taxes to Israel.
Yeah,
but people see that, or they see like all of they see something else, some other like huge price tag. It's just it's difficult to convince them that government can be used as a tool for good when it's so often used against them as a cudgel for either directly like attacking them in some way, or pitting them against one another, or against the bureaucracy, against this faceless machine that's completely outside of their interests. And
exactly,
that's all they get. I mean, I think like people's hesitancy towards like vaccines or welfare.
I got my flu shot today.
Oh hell yeah!
I got the chip.
It comes from the same sort of place, right? It's like, why? Like I never get shit for free. Like why am I getting shit for free now? Like what's the motive? Like I always have to pay. I mean, I don't think that's entirely it. People are definitely like propagandized too, but like the innate distrust just comes from living in a shit system.
Oh yeah, and whenever the government, whenever there are things that happen, yeah,
no kidding, yeah.
Like whenever something like. I forgot what I was going to say.
Something gay happens and the government's like, oh, we're all gay and we support trans rights and gay rights.
Whenever something good happens, it's impossible to like message on it because it's like, it just gets overshadowed by like all these other like issues and complaints and like actual bad things that people like are doing. Because I think one thing that I think people don't really talk about enough, even the Democrats, is like, yeah, Joe Brandon's like NLRB has been like pretty all right, and then like all of the Brandon DOJ has been doing.
FTC, Lena Khan.
Oh yeah, Lena Khan's been like killing it. So it's crazy because it's like, oh, all these things that like are demonstrably popular, the Democrats just aren't talking about. And like all these things, they don't message on it instead, as we've sort of discussed before.
Because their message would have to be, oh yeah, we actually don't support that, and we're not doing things that you care about. So they just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Democrats, when you ask them to do literally anything that they platform on, we forgot.
That's the difficulty in like voting in increasingly, at least for me. I mean, I know other people feel that way. I mean, just like the mere fact that like it's a 50-50 tie between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump shows you just how like badly they fucking do.
Yeah.
But like it's very
I'm scared that because at first when people were talking about how they were worried it was going to be a repeat of 2016, I kind of was just like, I mean, like, I don't blame you for thinking that, but I also think that the public like consciousness has kind of moved past like Trump as like an idea.
No,
and
not
I
at
think
all.
we kind of all know that it's not fun anymore. But as we've gotten closer and closer, it's like the Kamala campaign is definitely making like similar kinds of mistakes. There's a similar kind of arrogance. It's a little bit different because like Kamala actually is like campaigning and shit, but she is just like taking a certain like segment of the base for granted. They're like kind of just doing this weird like carve out thing where they're like trying to like capture certain like segments of Republican voters, which is a strategy that like has never ever worked for them ever.
But it does align with their policies that they're going to enact.
It does.
So in a way, it's more
strategy.
transparent.
Yeah. No, the Dick Cheney strategy, famous like Dick Cheney, famously loved by everybody.
Definitely didn't take us into any wars that were like a shit idea in the last 30 years.
Oh no, I hope we don't go into another war that's a shit idea.
Yeah.
What would he do? It would be so bad.
Dick Cheney is like an uglier version of Trump is the thing. Because like at least
Trump is kind of sexy.
Is like what?
I didn't say anything.
Huh?
I didn't say anything. I didn't say who I'm voting for.
He's on Joe Rogan right now.
Who is?
Or not
Trump?
right now, but he just did the Joe Rogan interview.
Joe Rogan, yeah.
No, I think it's that's the thing.
We're done. No, I'm kidding.
No,
I don't predict anything.
Done.
I think that my brain is too powerful, so if I manifest anything, it might happen. So I'm like trying to not predict anything.
No, that's good.
Or I might curse it by accident too. So I just don't assume anything until it happens. People are like, "Do you think Trump's going to win?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Woo!
No,
it's true. Can help it. What do you guys think about leftists who aren't voting for Kamala? Because I think it's really complex.
I think it's also very complex. First of all, I think anytime we have a discussion about leftism, right, we have to remember diversity of tactics. I think it's important to understand that like lots of different people are working on lots of different parts of the political operation. There's a lot of people who just straight up don't vote and would not have voted anyway. And so when they make a point to tell you, they're not voting, it's kind of like, well, I mean, I kind of think like that's fine. But at the same time, if you are in the mindset where you can play electoral politics, I think personally, it's like, as Chappell Roan said, right? I do not endorse Kamala Harris, but I am voting for her. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's the way I feel personally.
The problem is that like,
and hold on, let me say one more thing.
Sorry, go ahead.
All of you leftists that like are like not gonna vote, even though you got a ballot. Here's what you have to do. Instead of not voting, write in Theresa Sweetheart for president, and then take a picture of it and send it to me.
Right in
That's what you
Stream
should
Politics EP.
Yeah, right in stream, right in my band camp.
Maybe someone will see that and like be like counting the votes, and they're like, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to get that election worker, like vote counter, like ballot counter demographic. So
I feel like there's so much lower of a chance that they even would like any hyperpop in general if they're like anything to do with voting.
No, and I aim to change that, Diana. That's what this is about.
All right, Kaelin, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I think, like, Kamala has made absolutely zero appeals to the left. Like, not even to, like her ostensible base as, like a woman. Like they're not even like trying to enshrine abortion rights or anything. Like the conversation has moved completely away from the viability of doing that on a national level to just, to basically just like aligning with Republicans and just being like, yeah, well, we're just going to like let the states do it and hopefully like not kill anybody. And it's like, well, it's already happening. Like it's already happening.
Yeah, no.
And they are simply dying.
And on top of that, like we've got, like genocide, completely like unable to speak against that, unable to speak against an arms embargo, unable to offer any pushback on the quote unquote border crisis.
Yeah,
like not messaging on citizenship, not mentioning that these people are refugees that are here legally, not mentioning where drugs are coming through, like authorized ports of entry for the most part. Like it's like it's just a complete, and they know this. She knows this. I mean, like these are things.
Kamala does know this because, as she says, she has prosecuted transnational gangs. She knows. She knows
transnational gangs. Wait, they got trans girls nationally.
Wait.
I'm booking a flight.
Transnational gangs from South America.
Ooh, I'm going to Brazil. Brasilia. Do you guys know the meme about the one that's like it's like in the favela, the guy on his bike with the girl on the back?
No.
Okay, well, if you know, you know. Is all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna waste a slur explaining this meme.
I was just gonna say I don't know if I could like there's a lot of other candidates on the ballot, and like third party America, whatever, probably won't happen. But it does, send a message when Kamala loses the election because she failed to appeal to anybody.
Yeah.
And I think
if
one of the
Kamala
things
loses the election.
I don't know. No. Sending a message is actually the wrong thing because it's not what you're even trying to do. But it
will hopefully be
it
a
will
sober
impact politics. It will impact politics negatively. I mean, the thing is, it's like a vote for her seems like a vote for the status quo. Like you're voting for just another Joe Biden presidency. I don't know if I can personally bring myself to do it, but
are you going to vote on the lower ballot though?
Yeah, absolutely. But what I was going to say is that one of the arguments that I do think about a lot is that when you vote for like a president, especially like a very high office like that, you're voting in a coalition of unelected people. Thousands and thousands of people. I mean, at least like hundreds directly, but below them, thousands of people in the administrative state that are doing good things, and they're going to probably be Democrats. I mean, they might still be shit, but they're gonna be a lot. They're gonna be. They have to toe a party line. And
well, it's like I would even like that's the thing, right? Is like I think there's a lot of merit to voting for maintaining the administrative state because we know that Trump will gut the administrative state. We know that.
Yeah.
We know that
the boar's head listeria. Anybody? Deregulation.
And like the idea that, and I mean, it's obviously it's like whatever we're worried about, the Biden-Harris, plan for Israel, like Trump isn't going to put any restraints on them at all. And it's like And I mean,
but I don't know if
sort of implies that, like, you know, the Biden administration is putting restraints on them, which they're not. So it's like, but it's like, I think, honestly, I think even the posturing matters. Like, that's the thing. I'm going to be honest. Back when Trump was president, I was like embarrassed to be an American. Like, I remember very distinctively as a kid, like kind of thinking about wanting to be president. And then after Trump got elected, I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want this.
About wanting to be president? That's
Why not?
Nice. That's so nice. Theresa for president. Stream politics.
Why not? I see. You
I
know
would
what I
vote
mean?
for you.
I would. I don't think I would vote for me personally, but
you're right. I'm the one who should be president. Woo!
No, it's true. I would vote for you. Is the thing. That's the thing. Should the Dems have run Oprah?
Wait, check the favela meme, dude. Look at your Instagram chat.
Did you send it to me?
I did. I sent you both. So everyone reading along, Theresa's going to read out. So what this meme is, it's a green text from Wait, you Reddit.
sent it in the Zoom
I sent it in Instagram. It's a green text from Reddit, and it's a guy on a motorcycle with a girl on the back.
Okay.
And it's called Brazilian Loves His Life. So read the green text.
Okay. I'm reading the green text. Okay. Oh, there's two pictures. Okay.
The first one. Do the first one.
Okay. Roided, Free Fire hoodie, no headlights, riding in the favela, tranny in the back seat.
Wait, I'll read the last part. Such is the life of a Brazilian, and I'm supposed to be envious of the first world because I'm not.
No, it's so true.
And then the second one is new, better bike, even more roided, same tranny on the back. True love is real. Sweet wrapped Camaro, definitely nicer part of the favela. Do people still believe I should envy the first world? So if you're looking for this, just look up. I just Googled.
Shout out to Lula.
Yeah, shout out to Lula. No, actually, long live Brazil.
Yeah, no, exactly. So just Google tranny on a bike favela Reddit and you will get it. If you want it. I mean, I did, and I found these in like one search. So the internet is usable if you know what you're looking for. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. That's a classic meme. That's a Diana classic meme. So if you
this is a pretty good meme.
I was thinking someone should be that for Halloween, like the guy on the motorcycle.
No, Kaelin, we could do this for Halloween.
Oh my lord!
This is like way too niche.
You could be the roided up motorcycle guy, and I'll be the tranny in the back seat.
It's perfect. Everybody will know exactly what it is.
It's literally perfect.
You just got to have like the Akira bike, and then everyone will know.
No, for Halloween, Ramona and I have this like running joke that one of these days for Halloween we're gonna dress up as John Lennon and Yoko Ono, and we're both gonna wear the same outfit, like exactly the same outfit. But when we explain it to people, we're gonna be like, okay, so we're going as John Lennon and Yoko Ono, but you have to guess which one of us is John Lennon and which one of us is Yoko Ono.
Jesus.
I think they're kind of John coded. Because she's the one who's going to tear you away from the art and ruin the Beatles.
No, that is true. That's because that's literally what happens. No, because I can't even focus on my podcast when she makes me give her head pats all the time.
Honestly, Yoko Ono made some bangers though.
Yoko Ono was lit. Is the thing.
I don't know any of her songs, but I
do
do know that she is the first person that most people have ever heard scream in an avant-garde way. On music.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
Like if I ever do like weird extended technique, an old person will be like, "It's just like Yoko Ono or Frank Zappa," and I'm like, "You actually are kind of right." Is the thing? Like, would we even have Bjork without Yoko Ono? These are the real questions.
I don't think we would. I do not think we would.
She's actually very Anyways, maybe more influential than this stuff. Yeah, no. I don't even know her like that, honestly. So don't quote me. I'm not a stan.
There was that one, what was that? Oh, shit. Give me like 2 seconds. It was on Fly.
One?
It was called...
Two.
Was it literally just called Fly?
Is this a Yoko Ono?
I'm trying to think.
1.75.
There's a lot of like really just awful Yoko Ono songs.
So basically, I've decided that... So we're going to figure out what song it is because... we decided that we're going to have listening homework at the end of each episode.
No, right.
And you don't have to do it. This is not required homework because we're cool educators. We don't care. You do what you want to do.
It was the Yoko Ono piece that was like war song.
We can figure it out for later because we're going to put it in the description.
Warzone.
Warzone.
It's gotta be.
Warzone by Yoko Ono. That's going in the description.
Yes.
Or was that one of her new ones? Oh, that was one of her new ones.
Oh my
Classic.
God.
Well, you have to listen to Yoko Ono's whole discography.
You have to listen to Yoko Ono's entire discography, and you, the listener, will have to tell us which song it is that we're talking about. That's your homework.
After no description of what it is.
It's the one with where she's talking about war and stuff. Certainly it was only one song, probably.
Yeah, she probably only talked about that once.
Only once.
War is over.
Okay.
I was like, I didn't think
that's her and John Lennon. Wait, Theresa,
it's not that one, right? It's not. No.
Theresa, you and your girlfriend, whatever fucking face is,
Ramona,
you should cosplay. You should do for your John and Yoko costume this image that I'm about to send you.
Okay.
And then people will know what you're talking about. Okay, check Insta. It's John and Yoko holding a War is Over poster. You probably know the one if you're a Beatles head like me. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm not a stan.
No, this is what I think this is what we do. This is
I think it's pretty obvious who is who if one of you's wearing glasses, though, because she doesn't wear glasses.
No, that's the thing because that's the thing. Because you notice, because that's the thing. Ramona is the one that wears glasses. Is the one that wears glasses in the relationship. So that's the thing, right? So which one of us is John and
that
which
might be
one
a little
of us
too
is
high
Yoko?
Concept for the Halloween party. It's kind of like the politics EP. It's going to go
that's
everybody's head.
Very conceptual.
It's very conceptual.
It's about more than the music. You have to know a little bit about current events.
No, it's true.
The context of everything that we knew and know before, or whatever the fuck that bitch said. Fucking bitch. Fuck you. I'm not. I'm still voting for you. Bitch, ass bitch. But yeah.
No, that's the thing is they've got me. I'm like, because here's the thing. There's two ways to play electoral politics. You can vote or you can run. And I don't think I'm really capable of running. So I am going to vote. And I think that if I had the money to just give people food more often, like if I had the money to just set up a little, table somewhere and just give out free food to people, I would do that. But I don't. So I feel certainly some amount of it. I guess that's the other thing to really talk about is this idea of civic duty, right? And like, because I think that it is good to talk about problematizing like the voting versus not voting thing, because I just kind of think it's like an interesting conversation. Is like as a, because people talk about how it's like, oh, it's your responsibility to like protect democracy and da 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 da.
People put too much on voting. They really put too much on voting. It's just one thing that you do. Because like the whole rest of the time, you got to be like doing what we're doing, talking to each other, organizing, joining.
I'm going to be real. I don't think I do that much. Wait, no, I take it back.
Also,
I do.
A lot of people
don't think I do that much either.
I think I do. I repost a lot of information. I advocate for things I care about. But also there's people who are like really doing it. And I feel like sometimes when I'm speaking, I do feel very much like an armchair activist. Because like there are people, like I didn't go to any protests in person. Like there are people who are like out there doing shit for real. And I have mad respect for them. And a lot of the people who I know who do that aren't voting for Kamala Harris. But also they're like, that's the individual person. I'm not saying this is true of everybody.
Right. And I think also it's like, if you are like, that's kind of what I meant about the diversity of tactics thing. It's like, if you are out there like doing all this other stuff, then like, maybe you like don't need to vote. The question is like, what are the vast, like what is the general consensus to the like vast majority of Americans? Because that's the thing. Like, yeah, people do. I think, Kaelin, you're right that people do put too much of an emphasis on voting. But if you are going to if you're going to be involved in politics to the extent that, you're not going to do any like organizing or like even really like communicating or talking about shit, then like, you kind of do have to vote.
You don't have to, but maybe perhaps you should at least down the ballot. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, at least that's the thing is that's the thing. Like I said before, write in Theresa Sweetheart for president. Okay, you don't have to vote for Kamala, but you should vote on the down ballot stuff, and you should be engaged. You should pay attention, and not just in the way where it's like, oh, you just like watch one person and like kind of digest everything. Although that's what I do with Hassan, so I'm not.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Hassan, tell me who to vote for, please, Daddy.
Well, you asked what the consensus.
Hassan being a little poser about that.
I bet he is a poser in general,
anyway,
bro. He's been a poser.
Kaelin?
You asked what the consensus in America is, and like, it'd be easy to say there is no consensus, but I think the consensus is that people just want this to go away. They kind of want it to just fucking stop, like all of it. Like the climate change, the police brutality. Like most people, like if you really set them on the rails, and educated them, would probably more or less agree with you. Like they would agree, like at least with some like the policies are good and that they benefit them. But they like the hardest thing is just like people don't have time. People don't have they don't have time. They don't have the mental capacity to give a shit. So I've been saying this before, and it's a bit depressing to think about. But like the only time people respond is when it personally affects them in some way. And like that's why I think a lot of times like with these like quote unquote low propensity voters, their main gripe is just like, well, I just don't want like gas to go up. Or I just like don't want my taxes to go up. Or I just like I want like something very basic that has absolutely nothing to do with like the ideological shit we're talking about.
Yeah, that they don't even address.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, people are like, I want to vote for Trump so food prices are lower. And then some person is like, well, they're not going to be. And then they're like, oh.
They don't even, and the thing is like, they won't even, like you can say that, but it's just like, it's like you have to prove. Like Hassan was talking about this the other day. He's like, no matter how much I learn, no matter how much I study, somebody's always going to come in the chat with just some shit that I never thought would be a problem for people. And that's what you're talking about, where it's like I don't even know how to like message on that. Like if we, it's you have to like capitalism is one of those things where it's like, again, if you have to take, I don't know how to say this. If you're not taking an anti-capitalist message, you're almost assuredly framing the issue as if like capitalism is just dysfunctional and it's not working exactly as we expect, as it's supposed to be. So like you just think that something needs to be fixed when in reality, like the thing is working fine. It's working to fuck you over. It's working to rob you.
And really well. We're speed running the environmental collapse for real.
I
mean, that's the other thing about the environment stuff is just like you said, people are so distracted by things that are in their tangible daily life really fucking hard, like grocery prices and rent and everything, that it's like, it's really hard. It's like, with politics in general, it's like people are distracted and then they think, okay, I go vote once and then maybe I don't even read what I'm voting for. But that's all that some people can muster because they don't even, like you said, they're not looking at the whole machine being the problem, rather certain things being broken. But that was.
And they trust that someone's going to figure it out.
Yeah.
They trust that their vote matters.
I mean, not even to tell people to not vote, but I just don't think that most of the votes are even getting counted. I'm going to be so real. Like they have so many ways to like say, oh, this is invalid. Oh, you didn't do XXX. Like there's no way.
I'm going to push back on that.
I'm a conspiracy theorist, so you can, no one believes me. Actually, you know what? Take what I say with a grain of salt. But anyways.
But at the same
publish
time,
numbers in every state on how many votes they reject and how many like. This is where a lot of like the claims of like voter fraud come from.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
you're right about that.
Right?
Yeah,
the gerrymandering stuff and like.
I don't mean literally they're not counted, but rather
it's
you're
like
right.
I was gonna because when you said that I was gonna be like, well, that's the thing. Because of the way the Electoral College is set up, so many votes. Like that's the thing. Like
people are disenfranchised from voting.
A Republican's vote in California does not matter. like at all. Like even
like me, my vote doesn't.
Right.
Not up ballot for sure.
Yeah, down ballot actually it really does.
Yeah,
but again, it's the same thing where it's like also we say like, oh, a conservative or a Republican, but Democrats are the ones making up the criminalizing homelessness bullshit.
It's
you know what I mean?
It's true. But it's like the Electoral College absolutely disenfranchises voters like in its sort of fundamental like incarnation, because it's like in its fundamental essence, I should say, because it's like, yeah, it's supposed to be part of this like framework of like a representative democracy and like this distinction between like a republic and a direct democracy and right? It's like the reason why we invented the Electoral College was because in 1776 we didn't have computers. So we were like, oh, how the fuck are we going to count all this shit? And it's like, well, we'll have like, you
gotta get some boys to ride some horses up to...
do it the way Amazon does it and outsource it to India.
Yeah. Well, it's like, no, we'll have these people and they'll be like, these people like, yeah, no, they like these people represent the votes that are being cast, right? Like, it's just like it's a completely outdated,
it's really outdated,
irrelevant system. And because if the whole point is that the numbers determine everything, why do we need the electors? And then if the whole point is that the electors like represent...
Sorry, I just started playing Immaterial by accident.
No,
sorry, guys.
It's true. It's true though. It's like that's the thing is like the Electoral College is this like it is this phantom like weird constraint, and for some reason everybody's just like so like the political establishment is just does this thing where they somehow manage to avoid dealing with the problem. Like somehow the discourse always misses the Electoral College. Even though we spend the whole election talking about how we need to get to 270 votes, we never ever sit down and ask why.
Well, again, on a federal level, it's not a problem for them. I always it's slightly like I don't know if teleological is the right word, but like I like to sometimes think about like the presidency as like in reverse. Like nobody will ever become the president that is like Bernie Sanders or something. Like there will always be a way found. They will always find a way to shut somebody out of that. So like you're never going to get. I forgot the point I was trying to make necessarily, but you're never going to get a president that is representative of like the will of some democratic people. So what the Electoral College does is it just effectively, just like the national conventions, just like this whole party apparatus, the party apparatus that kept Bernie from, even becoming the candidate. Like these things stand in the way of democracy willfully. Whether or not they do it this time around or another time around doesn't particularly matter. There's always something there that can be made a roadblock so that the real candidate can come through. And I mean, if you want the real conspiracy, it's that. And this comes up all the time. I mean, what was it? I forgot who published it. Was it Max Reed? No, it wasn't Max Reed. I'll have to like maybe find it. But just like a month ago, finally we got like the news we got like the actual confirmation, like actual emails about the 2016 DNC where Bernie was completely shut out. We got the emails where they were just like, he cannot be the candidate. And that's something that we knew for a long time. Like it was essentially known, but it was a conspiracy. It was a conspiracy.
Being a conspiracy theorist that's not like QAnon pilled and just like is facts and logic based.
It's a confluence of interests, right? So like it doesn't have to be just like one person or some like secret cabal of people. They do this openly. Like they talk about
it's a hypersigil. It's ideas manifesting into like this machine that like none of them can control individually, but it all amalgamates into something.
And the suits are tailored for them. The ideas they cannot, like a person will not be put into that role that doesn't fit it. And since there are no meaningful roles for anti-capitalists, you will never find an anti-capitalist in the American government. Like, unless there, usually, if you do find one, it takes it's usually like the incredible willpower of the people and the overwhelming like power of their democratic policy, like it was with Bernie Sanders, like just constantly being like, able to frame democratic socialist policies in a way that people understood. And being an old white guy on top of it, I think helped a lot as well.
Yeah, I think it's the whole thing of it isn't broken. It's working exactly how it's intended to.
Yeah.
That's like the whole thing. It's people are like, oh, why is capitalism so bad? And I'm like, well, it's just that's how the system works of capitalism. So we need to not have that for these things, like the grocery price being too high and the toll bridges, for those not to be happening to the average person. And people have had capitalism given to them as like the antidote for evil communism so much that like capitalism is given a good positive tone in the general, like, raising people. They say, oh, we're so lucky that we have democracy and capitalism and not communism, where you're going to have to stand in bread lines and everyone's equal. And
No, now we stand at the line at the grocery store and it's too fucking long because the store doesn't want to hire more checkers to fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I have to be my own fucking cashier. These are the real problems.
No, it is.
How are they going to expect me to do it right? I'm not trained. Like,
but I do think that there's kind of like, I do think there's something sort of worth exploring, because it's like this idea of something being like systematized. Because I remember, like, I think about this even when I was like engaging with the phrase like, systemic racism or like systemic like transphobia or whatever, that because I came at it from a math background. So in my mind, system meant like, oh, there is this prescribed set of rules that like explicitly determines like the behavior of like each part of this thing at each moment. And systems, when used to describe like institutions or even just kind of like political phenomena like institutional racism, like systemic, means it's much more like probabilistic. It's much more this like confluence of interest. And like I think that's almost what makes these problems like very scary, is because you can't just attack the mechanism. You have to attack the idea. You have to attack the incentives. And it just seems really difficult to do that. Like, it seems really difficult to actually frame conversations in a way that liberates them from like the sort of like, oh, should you vote or should you not vote? It's like, listen, it doesn't matter. The country's lived through like so many years of like this fascism that at a certain point, it's kind of not relevant to like hyperfixate on certain things. What's much better is to like actually sort of like think beyond like this sort of like, oh, should you vote? Oh, should you not? Like,
have either of you read Andreas Malm's How to Blow Up a Pipeline?
No.
I don't know how to read.
Yeah.
Well,
no.
This would be a good one to start with.
Oh,
no,
okay. Wait, let me write it down.
Probably start with like Harry Potter or something.
I actually have those books, but I think I should like burn them or something. But that's not environmentally friendly.
Yeah. No, that's so funny. At first, people were burning Harry Potter books because they contained the devil's magic, and now we're burning them because J.K. Rowling's a TERF. And I think there's like I think it's funny that we've become like the Christians.
I feel like all the Harry Potter books are her Horcruxes, and we have to destroy all of them before she'll stop making
every single copy, each one burns.
They probably sent it to space, so we're done. Like, it's gonna be here forever.
I burn a full set of Harry Potter books in a giant Gandalf effigy every summer, so that I can keep the bad vibes away.
Wait, what was
it Gandalf? Wait, did I say Gandalf? Wait, what did I mean?
You mean Dumbledore?
I mean Dumbledore.
Gandalf's
kind
of
gay wizard.
They're both gay.
Anyway.
What are you talking about?
They're both
No, they're
All
not.
wizards
Gandalf,
are gay.
I mean, that'd be pretty sick. I could see that.
Everyone who's bisexual, I swear to God, like 80% of people are bisexual, and they're either inactive, like they need to be activated, or they know and they're hiding from their true self.
Okay.
Including gays, because they're like, oh, I wish I could. Oh, let me just sexually assault a woman because I love her, because I'm gay, I don't know. I don't know about all that. I don't. I'm signing up for a Goodreads account right now, so I can write down this book.
I was just gonna really quickly say. So Andreas Malm writes about he writes about like basically like the main premise of like the first part of his book is like if the climate disaster is so pressing and if we've got so much to do, like why isn't anybody doing anything? And then he kind of like pivots towards this sort of like philosophy that was sort of persistent throughout like the 60s, 70s, and like into like the like anti-nuclear age for, you know, whatever good that did. We like if you just picked a target, he says, like if you were just like, hey, there's this pipeline like going through the woods and I just like blow it up. Or if you just were like, hey, you know, there's a gas station on nearly every corner. How many gas stations blowing up does it take to make people afraid of like going to the gas station? Like how much does it take to make an aesthetic impact on the politics of climate change for people to react to it? And
it's
very interesting. It's just interesting to, what I was going to say is just like interesting to apply that philosophy to all sorts of other things, because it's the idea of like getting out of electoralism,
right? And
thinking about like what does it probably take?
Electoralism, because I think that's kind of the tension with politics, right? Is like, and I've been thinking about this a lot, and the kinds of like how. Like why liberalism is such an appealing idea, and like why it feels like so natural, or rather the conversation that like liberalism has built, because the whole point is that the peaceful transfer of power, right, the ritual of the election and the vote and all this stuff is supposed to be an alternative to like political violence and kind of like violent political struggles. And the thing about that is that that's really like that to me like sounds awesome. Political violence is almost always the lamest shit ever. It's always like complete dickheads killing people who like don't deserve to be killed. And like even when it's sick, it's just like even when like the right people are dying, it just kind of like it always stings. You know, like I guess that's the thing. Like, can you seriously look at like I think about even like 9/11, and I think about like, oh, did 9/11 achieve its like desired goal of like bringing about the downfall of the West or whatever, or like terrorizing the West? Because it's like, because it obviously.
Wait, who
like,
did 9/11?
True.
This is just questions
scary.
To think about, guys.
That's real. That's the real spooky thing.
We're just putting questions out there. We're not saying the answers. We don't know the answers. It's just a little fishy. It's all I'm gonna say. The third building. I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
But hold on. Let me.
Yeah, keep going.
Let me try to get this out before it becomes a permanent like lost
gone
idea forever. Yeah, a permanent lost thought.
The ADHD tax.
Yeah. So like liberalism positions itself as this alternative to what it views as like this sort of constant shifting sea of like of feudalism, basically, right? Instead of having a bunch of warlords fighting each other all the time, we can all rally around like these states or these nations, and we can do like, democracies or whatever, and we can kind of like we can leave the jungle, right? Going back to Rousseau and the social contract. And like the thing that's changed about society is we no longer view society as something that we actively participate in and like consent to being into. We instead view society as this thing that controls us, a matrix, if you will, that we live within. And we have to, and that's why that fucking movie has like taken on the meaning that it has, is because everybody thinks that they're like becoming, everybody feels like they're waking up to the system, right? But it's like, I think that's what's scary. That's what's really scary about it, is that like, even when you think you've woken up, you might still be like dreaming. I mean, I know that I said that really stupidly, dude, but I feel like there's kind of something, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of true. Like, you have, because what is a revolution, right? It means to turn, it means to cycle through. And so it's like, how do you move forward without going back? That's kind of the sort of like, at least the question of like philosophy, right? And I just don't know if like blowing up gas stations randomly really does like put us forward. That's
I've been doing that and it hasn't.
What I was going to try to compliment that with was a quote that I remember. I don't remember who said it, but it was critical of the Weather Underground, which was a like far left activist, like militant organization, I guess. Like in like the early 70s. I remember somebody saying the problem with like the Weather Underground is that they lead their people into situations where they get slaughtered and they call it a revolution. So you know, there has to be this parity between the sort of like knowing what you're capable of, what your group is capable of, the social implications of what you're doing, and like moving with the, like, I think aesthetics is, I don't know if aesthetics is the right word for it. But certainly like making appeals to people, as much as I hate doing that, because I fucking hate people, but like, shout out to people.
So real.
Shout out to people, not fuck you.
But you have to, you can't just be, you know, there's a middle ground in there somewhere. I like the radical theory because I think it's good to liberate yourself from the idea of status quo and thinking of this weird bipartisan structure, even just as a thing that you have to combat. Like, if you can just think outside of that, think within the realm of like mutual aid, going to a protest, bonding with your friends, and just talking politics, making it a more normal thing. It's even those are good. Yeah.
We love mutual aid, and I think that's the other thing too, is like, helping people realize that like, society isn't always this thing that happens to them. Your actions, everything you do, every breath you take does like
I haven't done any vocal stems yet of singing the words that have come up to me.
You haven't done a single one, but I'm gonna give you some. Hold on, let me finish, because I'm gonna give you some good ones. Okay, so it's like every breath you take, all of those actions, that becomes society. Everybody doing all the things that they do, that becomes society. So I really do think there kind of is. I don't know, Diana, this reminds me of that time when DigiFae came to Portland and played that show, and like the music, the speakers were already like so loud. It was at the one that was inside.
The one at the fucking Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, the one that was at the Chinese restaurant, and it was so loud. And then like this dude came out and like was like, "Oh yeah, you guys can like turn it up already. You turn it up if you want to." And then Diana, you were just like, "No, it's fine." Because it was fine. And I think about that moment a lot, because it was like, oh yeah, no, if Diana was not there, I don't think any of us would have said anything. I think everybody would have just turned it up, because like that's kind of like how people in Portland are. They don't like actually like.
That's DIY in general, bro. They blow out their speakers constantly. It's like actually so bad. No, but that's one thing about me is that I'm always going to have them make it a little quieter actually, because I think that unless it's harsh noise or like a real rockin' band, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't like make it be the right decibels for it to sound big, but not like destroy people's ears. Yeah. Because aren't you just losing like good sound quality? Like, I don't understand why people want to push their sound so fucking loud. And it's just like, what's the point of having people use fucking like, you should still use earplugs. What's the point of people using earplugs just to hear normally when you could just, if your music is like mixed professionally or whatever, it should sound good loud without peaking. Like, I don't, whatever.
That is odd.
No,
I mean, I get, but yeah, no, that's one thing about me is I'm going to tell them like, nope, we don't need to be louder.
I think, and that's the thing is I remember that was one moment. And then there were a couple of other moments throughout my, time in this city where I've seen like an individual do something and I was like, oh yeah, that actually did like make like a difference. Like that like altered the trajectory of like, how things were going to happen. And
I'm so glad that I made such an impression.
It feels really small. And it doesn't really feel, and that's the thing. Like if you're doing it right, you're of course not really gonna feel like you're doing anything because you sort of realize that, oh yeah, this is just one piece, this is just whatever, and also it'll, what I mean, it'll be natural, like because you can, like you said, Kaelin, you can just talk to people. You can normalize talking about these things. You can educate people. You can like make all these little choices.
Arguably, it's the first place you start. I mean, just talk to your friends, talk to your family.
Yeah. Take a stand. Like, I think mostly what you're saying is like, even if it's on a small thing, like me being like, actually, we don't need to crank the volume.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just something like that where it's like, if you don't say it, everyone else will go along with something that you don't agree with. Maybe.
And the Overton window shifts.
No, and the Overton window shifts. And then the speakers keep getting turned up. It keeps getting louder and louder. No, and it's like, but I kind of do think
and nobody knows
like,
what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Who's turning that up? Who's even driving the plane right now? I don't know.
No, exactly. But that's the thing. That it kind of is that sort of situation. And I think like that's the thing is like there's lots of ways to engage with politics and the opinions of the opinions of individual people like do matter. That's I think the thing that I really want to emphasize. Whether or not your vote matters, that's whatever. But what you think and how you act definitely matters. And how you interact with other people definitely matters. And like, I just...
Yeah, you can do praxis through how you treat other people as well. Especially children and the just disenfranchised people in general.
No, you can imagine all the people living. No, and that's the thing. I do think it's good that we brought up the John Lennon Yoko Ono costume idea, because I do think that this goes back to the first political musician
John Lennon,
political
Yoko
song.
Ono.
The first
Yoko
political
Ono,
song.
famously the most famous politician.
Imagine there's no countries.
Didn't we already talk about this?
We did already talk about this because I love John Lennon.
Said no gods, no men.
I love the Beatles. Okay.
War is over. You know that one?
No, I've never even heard any of the other John Lennon songs.
That one sucks ass, and they love it for Christmas. But I'm also a Christmas hater, so that's another reason I don't like it.
There's a war on Christmas, folks.
I'm literally the Jewish elite doing the war on Christmas on my podcast.
My God.
If you celebrate Christmas around me, bro, side eye. No, I'm kidding. Whatever. I don't know.
Okay,
I believe in. I like Elf.
Here's the thing. No, Diana. Here's the thing. Okay, so even that's the thing. Even if someone celebrates Christmas if they still fuck with you, do you still fuck with them?
I don't give a fuck. It's mostly that I just have had Christmas shoved down my throat for so many goddamn fucking cycles of the fucking earth. I don't think I can take any more. I can't take another holly jolly Christmas, 2 fucking months of red everywhere. Red and green. All the carols in the fucking stores. Fucking guys in their Santa costumes shaking a bell for the homophobic Salvation Army. Like,
no,
bro,
it's so true.
Consumer, I don't know. I'm like, you know what? I'm definitely more of a like Christian hater than the average person.
No,
I've just experienced so many evil Christians that is I know there's good ones.
Christians literally deserve it.
There is good Christians, but I think it's a much smaller percentage than we would like.
There are. Of
it's
course,
like
there are
under
good
60%.
And if the good Christians are really good Christians, they'll like understand why you're being mean to them. They'll understand why you're being like skeptical.
And because if we do,
they
exactly.
crucified Jesus, and you know what he did? He never resisted, not even once.
No, for real. He was a Jew. Jesus was a Jew.
It's true. No, it's true. It's true.
Whoa.
And so that makes sense. I feel like it's fitting to end the podcast on the scariest thing of all, Christianity.
Oh, yeah,
I guess
we
could say that's the thing. Yeah. No, I think it is Christianity that is the scariest
think climate change. I think I started off with the scariest thing, actually.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah.
So
which is more likely to get us first, the climate change or like the Christian Zionists?
Definitely. Okay. I mean, I don't need to get into this. We'll have I think we should have an entire like true conspiracy theory pod.
We should have a true conspiracy theory pod, and we can bring you back for that one. Kaelin.
I'll have to do research for that. Yeah,
we'll have to research. Yeah, we'll have to actually.
Because I got a couple of them. I can tell you about my old job in vague terms, which would
vague terms.
Yes. Cha-ching! Drop one in the jar.
Well, I can't wait to hear.
I don't know how much I can say.
Yeah.
You should be really careful and say allegedly.
Be really careful.
Oh yeah, fuck. We didn't say allegedly. Did we accuse anyone of anything?
No.
Today. Okay,
we
cool.
didn't accuse anyone.
You can say whatever you want about a political candidate because they're,
that's true.
They're running for office.
Do you remember when Elon said that someone should assassinate Kamala?
No, I do.
Yeah, I don't know about all this. It's just so theatrical. That's what bothers me.
No,
Tim Waltz calling Elon a dipshit was one of the funniest things I've heard.
That was pretty awesome.
Just like that.
I know I said we were going to end the podcast, but this is reminding me like, did you hear about the whole like Elon's thing where he's like, he's going to give $1 million away? He's going to do like lotteries to get like unregistered voters to like, they register to vote and then sign a petition. And if they sign the petition, saying that because I think the petition is like, I don't know how like it takes, but the point is like there's sort of a legal like loophole thrown in there that like allows him to argue that like plausible deniability basically. But yeah, he's basically trying to bribe people to register to vote, which is illegal.
Yeah,
shit, I'll take that. I don't give a fuck. I'm selling out the left. I don't give a fuck.
Honestly, no, Elon, give me $1 million.
You can get a double beach for $2 million. Elon.
No,
triple beach, Kaelin. Sorry, Kaelin.
You want it? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't even think for $2 million I would do that. That's the thing.
Would for sure.
Remember when Elon like had that like masseuse. He tried to he flashed her his cock and then was like, "Oh, actually, I'll give you a horse if you don't know about this."
No, that would work on me for sure.
I don't know that, dude. There's so much lore I don't know.
It's old lore too.
It's old lore.
I only really know the Grimes lore, the Grimes paternity
this was
battles.
Pre-Grimes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, this was definitely pre-Grimes. No, that's the thing. It's
giving Epstein Island.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Big time.
His
reaction was, "I'll give you a horse. I'll give you a horse."
Would you take the horse?
Yeah.
No, I fucking hate horses.
I would take the horse and set it free.
Yeah.
Set it free. Rescue it.
In Oregon, in the big fields of Oregon.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
To get killed by Edward Cullen.
By Edward Cullen, and it would like slip on mud and die because it was really wet out here.
Wait, why am I laughing about a horse dying? That's so bad. I support horse rights. Give them back the ketamine. You don't need it.
Yeah, no, that's what
exactly.
Stop taking all the ketamine from the horses.
The poor horses.
Yeah, I'm talking to the gay people in the clubs. Give it back.
No,
These
Talking
horses are in
directly to
pain.
you, listeners of HYPERTHOTS.
Yeah.
Give it back.
I know you guys do ketamine, and I just want to say, just do like a little less ketamine.
Yeah, no, do a little less. Please
so you don't
be responsible.
fall off a roof.
Yeah.
Because that would be really sad.
That would actually be tragic.
I dropped my bong bowl. Okay, we're gonna go now.
Yeah.
It was great to be here.
Thank you for coming, Kaelin. Me and Kaelin just met for the first time on call. I don't even know what this bro looks like, so I'm gonna find out.
Yeah.
Just like
I'm imagining
average.
You got a nice
cute.
voice. Average.
Apparently.
Okay, sure.
But like not
okay,
super like
cute,
not super
but
cute.
average. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, how tall are you?
5'9", exactly average.
Oh my God, I only date guys over 5'9", so that's a problem.
That's a problem. Fuck.
Okay, so if you want to listen to this episode uncensored, we might censor some of it, so you can go to hyperthoughts.substack.com. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
So our Substack, it's free, is where you can listen to unedited, uncensored Nazi episodes where we talk about our true beliefs.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that is hyperthoughts.substack.com, hyperthos.substack.com.
Bye.
Bye.
If you want to hear this podcast uncensored, go to our Substack, where you can listen to the podcast. And eventually we will have a subscriber version of that where we're going to talk even more candidly.